Hey guys, welcome back to Armchair Conversations with Rob. Tonight I want to talk about basically a phrase that I heard uttered by the likes of Bill Gates, and he said that we don't have the option of turning away from the future. I like it, and so I'm going to adapt it a little and play with it and ramble because I'm in the mood to do that. Um, I don't think we have the option of turning away from our lives. We don't always like what our life is like. Hey, who does? Okay. There are times when you maybe don't like maybe the way you turned out, maybe the way your life is right now, maybe the way you don't like some of the decisions that you made, and what you think they cost you or why they brought you here. um, I'm here to talk a little bit about the fact that you have to make some decisions sometimes. Okay, it's just like not being able to make an omelet without breaking the eggs to cook it. Okay, you can't always get bogged down in the what I call the woulda, shoulda, coulda um, syndrome. What I mean by that is my life would have worked if I could have done this and I should have because that's better than what I've got now. Okay, really? So I'm just of a mind that, you can't turn away from life. You can't turn away from your future. You can't turn away from responsibility for what has happened. But the caveat for me is being responsible about what's happened, but not being hard or down on yourself about it, because nobody in this world is perfect. We all make mistakes. We all have issues. And sometimes you have to be willing to believe in something greater than yourself, a plan, a plot, a scheme, whatever you want to call it, a natural evolutionary tendency, whatever you want to call it, that has helped you to arrive where you're at. Now, I do believe in something greater than us, a higher power. Raised Christian, so I call it God. Okay. But I also believe that in that process, there's some caveats and secrets. One of which is in the Bible, when it talks about image and likeness of God, that doesn't just mean we look like Him, some dude or some chick in the sky, okay, with a beard or long hair or a pretty face. Okay. It means that just as He created, we also have the power to create. Um, because we are finite and limited in our existence as far as our mortality is concerned, and because we are going to have what they call human frailties, in that we can only perceive in a certain spectrum. Okay, we can only see a certain wavelengths of light. We can only hear certain frequencies of sound. We can only smell, taste, touch, and feel in certain spheres of influence or ability or perceptional possibilities. Means that we are not going to always have the perfect answer. Means we're going to sometimes make mistakes, but you can't turn away from any of it. You have to be willing to go out there and do stuff. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. You can't always win, but don't be afraid of trying something, making a decision, even if it's wrong, because we can correct a lot of our mistakes. Some things can't be corrected, some things you can't take back. I understand that. But that shouldn't be a fear point that stops you from answering the call of your life. Because life knocks on the door and it asks us to come. And we have to come. We have to go and do and be. Or not, which is just as much a choice as getting out there. Okay, you can sit on your stump and argue for your misery for the rest of your life, and that is just as valid a choice as someone who gets out there and, as they say, does the damn thing. Okay, and becomes something, gets a result, something. And so I'm just a big believer that your life is calling, and you have to go get it. You have to make choices. You have to live with the consequences or not. You have to make mistakes and successes. Because, see, people will very, very quickly tell you that, you can make mistakes and this and that thing is bad or possibly bad. Okay. But they don't always tell you that you can do well, that you can succeed, that you can be something or somebody. And I'm here to tell you that you can. Okay. Everything you do isn't going to be a mistake. Okay. This is to you. You out there. Yeah, you right there. Sitting right there. Okay. Everything you do is not going to be a mistake. Okay. You can't always lose either. Okay. I'm here to encourage this person, whoever they are that I'm talking to. Yeah, you. Okay. That you can be something, you can have something, you can do something. And you're not always going to make mistakes. You're not always going to lose. It may be difficult at times, but you have to hang on because your life is calling. It's waiting for you. Doesn't mean that you get to walk it easily and comfortably to the finish line with nary a piece of sweat. Okay, but it does mean that you can become something. You can make decisions. You can move forward. Some of them will be right, and some of them will be wrong. But I want to play a little bit with the fact that what if you get it right? See, because one of the things I've discovered about me, because I'm not going to be one of those people who comes out here and speaks to you and acts like I have it all together and I just know what I've got it all together and I never make a mistake and I'm always articulate and immaculate. Bullshit. I'm not. Okay, what I am is a human being and I make mistakes just like you. The people that I want to share my journey with me and that'll want to come and hear me and listen to me and talk to me and share with me are people who are authentic and not trying to be perfect and do make mistakes but also have great successes. Okay, so that person out there that I'm speaking to tonight that feels like they tried everything and it's just not working and it seems like no matter what they do, it hasn't changed. I'm going to put a question to you, and then I'm going to stop this part of the talk, and I'm going to hit you again with a part two, maybe, depending on how I feel. If you're out cutting a tree down or uh, chopping through something, whatever, do you already know how many strikes it's going to take to bring that thing down? I know there are people that can do that, but they're few and far between. Hell, even in comic books, they don't depict characters like that. You don't know how many hits it's going to take to bring the tree down. Okay. You don't know how many strikes it's going to take to chop through whatever the thing is you're trying to get through. You don't necessarily even know how many times that you're going to pump a pump handle. Because remember, I'm from the Clay Hills of West Virginia. And so we pump water out of a well at times when I was very, very little. They still had those around. Probably very rare to find them today, except in the really, really obscure places in West Virginia. But, when you pump water out of a well with a pump, you don't necessarily know how many strokes it's going to take before that water comes up and you can drink. But if you don't keep going, you don't get the drink of water. And if you really need one, you've got to keep going. Okay, well, your life is the same way. And just like that pump, if you start out on something and you're going, 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 and before it breaks through, you quit. It goes all the way back down, just like the water will in a well. Because that pumping action creates the suction that pulls the water up through the ground to come out of that well spigot. Okay, well, same difference for your life. Your choices, your actions carry momentum, and longevity has effect. So the longer you work it, eventually you're going to break through to something. But I cannot tell you, my own self included, how many times that I have started something and didn't finish it, um, have started something and almost was there, just about to break the surface, and it's like, this doesn't work. I quit, and it goes all the way back down, and you got to start all over the next time you come back to it. When if you'd have just persevered a little longer to break through, you'd have more water than you know what to do with. Once you get the water coming out the well, it just takes easy pressure to keep it going, because longevity has effect. So anyway, the quick takeaway from this one is you can't turn away from your life. You can't stop doing things because maybe you haven't gotten a result that you wanted in the past. Because you always get a result, people. Okay, always. It may not be the result you want, but you always get a result. And so you have to keep going, and you have to be willing to adjust and change your approach until you get where you need to go. So keep going, keep playing. For those of you out there that needed to hear this, it's great. Because again, don't give up, don't quit. Eric Thomas says something I like very much: don't cry to quit, cry to keep going. And I have a saying that I use, and I'm not sure where I got it from. I'm sure somebody out there in internet land will remember it, know it somewhere, and leap to tell me, because I like that actually. Um, but I used to always say, whenever I was faced with a challenge, especially a physical one, because I'm a person that moved umpteen times in a very short period of time. I had very little help at that time as far as like true support. I had some friends that give me lip service, and I appreciate that. But the true support and the ability to handle my life and have others help me handle it was not there. And so I would get frustrated, and I would um, just push till I got angry, or push till I got so exasperated and frustrated that you just tuck your head down like a bull and you just charge forward into it. And I used to always say, as long as I have 6 inches of daylight, I can move the world. Just, Lord, just give me 6 inches of daylight, just 6 inches of daylight. And then, 6 inches is not that much, okay? But I just felt like if I had 6 inches of daylight, that I could still accomplish something, I could still push further, I could still do something, that if I just had a chance, that I could make it, okay? And I did. And I'm still making it. But now I'm trying to make it different. I'm not just trying to make it and survive, I'm trying to thrive. But if any of you guys happen to know where that 6 inches of daylight comes from, I'd appreciate it. You letting me know. Or if somebody else is using it or whatever. Okay, but anyway, the bottom line to take away from this is life is calling. It's not going to stop just because you don't want to go. Okay, it's either going to drag you forward, roll right over you, or leave you behind. And I don't think any of those is as preferable as to at least go with the flow, much less actually get in a motorboat and paddle forward with the current to the end of that journey. Um, Again, guys, thank you for sharing my armchair. Really appreciate you tuning in. And I hope somebody got something from this. And if they didn't, hey, we'll work on the next one. I'm sure somebody did. Listen, guys, have a great evening. In this case, is my evening time. And thanks for sharing my armchair.